Assalamu alaikum. At first, I welcome you to my class. Our today's class is conducted for the students of honors second year, and the name of the course is Introduction to Drama. And our today's topic is Arms and the Man by George Bernard Shaw. George Bernard Shaw, he was born on 26 July 1856, Dublin, Ireland, and he died on 2nd November 1950, Hertfordshire, England. You know, he was a famous Irish critic, playwright, political activist. He always talked about the class opportunities. He talked about he talked against the exploitation of working class people. He delivered his speech in favor of Fabian society. You know, after Shakespeare, he was considered the greatest dramatist of English literature, and he was considered the father of modern English drama. You know, he died at the age of 94, so he had a very colorful career. He wrote more than 60 plays, and among these I just put some names like Caesar and Cleopatra, Arms and the Man, Man and Superman, and so on. You know, George Bernard Shaw, for his outstanding contribution in literature, he was awarded Nobel Prize in 1925, and he was different from the other playwrights of England, because the other playwrights of his time, they wrote for the entertainment of the people or entertainment of the audience, but he had a special purpose, like he wants to share his ideas, opinions, and thinking on particular topics. And in Arms and the Man, he satirizes the romantic notion of love, war, and marriage. Okay. Now this the place setting of this play is Bulgaria, Petkov family, and the background is Battle of Slivnitsa. There was a battle between Serbia and Bulgaria that erupted on 14 November 1885 and lasted 28 November 1885. It lasted 14 days. So this is the background of the play, and here we will see that this play has 3 acts. Act 1 begins at Brainer's bedroom. Then Act 2 begins at garden of the Petkov family, and Act 3 begins at the library of the Petkov family. And now let us see some characters of this play. First of all, I can mention Raina. Raina, she is the protagonist or heroine of the play. She is very much romantic. She has romantic illusion about love and war, and she is engaged to Sergius. Later, she got married, Bluntschli. Then comes to Sergius Sernov. He is considered as a Byronic hero. He is tall, handsome, and immoral, and he has also romantic illusion about love and marriage. So through these characters, we will elaborately discuss the thing later. Then comes Bluntschli. Bluntschli, he's a very much smart and a professional soldier. He is basically the mouthpiece of the author, and he is a Swede, but he served the Serbian army, and he served for the sake of money, and he acted as a mouthpiece of the writer George Bernard Shaw. He loved Raina, and they got married at the end of the play. Then comes Catherine Petkov and Paul Petkov, their husband and wife, and the parents of Raina. Paul Petkov is a major of the Bulgarian army. Then there are 2 characters remain. One is Nicola. Nicola, he is a very submissive, very loyal, and loyal servant, and he served the family for. He is engaged to Loka. Then the last character is Loka. She is a maid servant of Petkov family. She is arrogant, proud, and she always considers herself superior to others. And she fell in love with Sergius and married him. So these are the characters that we find in Arms and the Man. Now let us see the total summary of the play. First of all, Act 1 begins at Rainer's bedroom. Raina, as I told you earlier, she is a very romantic girl, romantic lady. She, when we first see her, she is watching the beauty of the mountains and the stars. Okay. Then after few moments, her mother came and informed her that Bulgaria owned the victory. Bulgaria owned the victory, and at this, Raina was very much excited, and she began to worship her lover Sergius. She took the portrait and began to worship him as a my hero, like this. And after this, as Bulgaria owned the battle, Serbian soldiers, they escaped from the field, and they tried to take shelter in different places. So an intruder entered Rainer's bedroom, and he threatened her with shooting. That if she cried, she will be shot. And Raina, she was afraid of this, and she became silent. After this, this intruder, he shared many opinions, many experiences with Raina. Like he said that in the battlefield, food is more important than weapon. And he also says that he is a Swiss, but he served for the Serbian army for the sake of money. Hearing all these things, Raina was astonished, and she couldn't believe this. So through this incident because of the meeting of the Raina and Blanchely, Bernard Shaw basically delivers a message that he actually shatters the romantic illusion of the war. Because Raina believes that fighters, the warriors are not common people; they are heroic. They to fight is a noble act, like this. So the romantic notion is shattered through the activities of Blanchely. Then Raina, she felt sympathy for Blanchely, and she saved him with the help of her mother. After this, the second act starts at the garden of Petkov family. Here we see Nicola and Nicola and Luca. Through their conversation, we come to know that Nicola is very submissive, and he is very loyal to his master. But Luca, she is a little bit arrogant and proud. And though Nicola tries to convince her to follow the order of the owner of the family, but she is a little bit arrogant, different. So after this, we see that Sergius and Paul Petkov came back from the war, and from this, we see that Raina and Sergius met for the first time in Act 2. And when they first met, we see some romantic incidents, like both of they are very excited. They are highlighting spiritual love or platonic love, and whenever they wanted to go out, Raina wanted to fetch her cap from her room. That's why there is a gap of 5 minutes of their talking. So this gap, Sergius thinks, is a long gap for them. So they are just pretending. They are acting as a pure lover and beloved. So when Raina went to fetch her cap, in this absence, Luca came. And when Luca came, Sergius was very much attracted, seeing the beauty of Luca. And Luca obviously took the opportunity to attract this man. and Sergius tried to tried to catch her hand, and Luca comes to him, and both of them became very intimate. At this point, probably Raina observed the situation. So after this, yeah, Blansley came to their house, and Petkov, recognized Blansley and welcomed him to their house. And there is another incident, because Raina called Blansley as a chocolate cream soldier. Whenever we go to text, I will elaborately discuss this. So after this, Sergius and Luca, they flirt. They engaged in flirtation for a few moments, and after this, when Luca, she tried to disclose everything to Sergius. She said that Rainer loved someone else, and she would marry that man if he came back again. So then come to the act, third. In the third act, we see it starts in the library. Here, Sergius, Petkov, they are busy with discharging the troops, all these things. So here we see that Sergius, he blames Raina, and Raina blames Sergius. Both of them blame each other, that they are making love secretly with other person, like this. Then we see that Sergius and Luca, they are engaged, and Blansley wanted to marry Raina, but here Catherine Petkov, she wanted to know whether Blansley is suitable for their family. And when she's confirmed that Blansley has much wealth, then she married of her daughter with Blansley. So this is the total summary of the Arms and the Man, and we see that here three things are very important. One is love, another is marriage, and the other thing is where. In the first act, the conception of romantic heroism, to show heroism in the world, it is shattered through the mouth of Blansley. And in the second act, the higher love or the spiritual love, this concept is shattered. Okay. And in case of marriage, we see that Bernard Shaw shares his ideas that in case of marriage, mutual understanding is necessary, as well as economic security. That is proved by the speech through the speech of Catherine Petkov. So here we see that the romantic illusion of love, war, and marriage, and its disillusionment is discussed very nicely. Okay, and in the next class, I will tell you to keep the book, okay, with you, so that I can read out the whole drama and take the class. Okay, until then, stay safe. Thank you very much.